How it all began. Nearly 4,000 years ago, in the Sumerian town of Ur in the valley of the river Euphrates, lived a young man named Abraham. The people of Ur had once worshipped Allah, but as time passed they forgot the true religion and started praying to idols, statues made of wood or clay and sometimes even of precious stones. Even as a small child, Abraham could not understand how his people, and especially his father, could make these images with their own hands, call them gods, and then worship them. He had always refused to join his people when they paid respect to these statues. Instead, he would leave the town and sit alone, thinking about the heavens and the world about him. He was sure his people were doing wrong, and so alone he searched for the right way. One clear night, as he sat staring at the sky, he saw a beautiful shining star, so beautiful that he cried out, "This must be Allah." He looked at it in awe for some time, until suddenly it began to fade and then it disappeared. He turned away in disappointment, saying, "I love not things that set." Quran 6.77. On another night, Abraham was again looking at the sky and he saw the rising moon, so big and bright that he felt he could almost touch it. He thought to himself, "This is my Lord." Quran 6.78. But it was not long before the moon set as well. Then he said, "Unless my Lord guide me, I surely shall become one of the folk who are astray." Quran 6.78. Abraham then saw the beauty and splendor of the sunrise and decided that the sun must be the biggest and most powerful thing in the universe. But for the third time he was wrong, for the sun set at the end of the day. It was then that he realized that Allah is the most powerful, the creator of the stars, the moon, the sun, the earth, and of all living things. Suddenly he felt himself totally at peace, because he knew that he had found the truth. When he said unto his father and his folk, "What do you worship?" They said, "We worship idols, and are ever devoted to them." He said, "Do they hear you when you cry? Or do they benefit or harm you?" They said, "Nay, but we found our fathers acting in this manner." He said, "See now that which you worship, you and your forefathers. Lo, they are all an enemy to me, except the Lord of the worlds, who created me, and he guides me, and who feeds me and waters me. And when I sicken, then he heals me. And who causes me to die, then gives me lift again, and who, I ardently hope, will forgive me my sin on the day of judgment." Quran 26.7082. One day, while all the townspeople were out, Abraham angrily smashed all the idols with his right hand except for one which was very large. When the people returned, they were furious. They remembered the things Abraham had said about the idols. They had him brought forth before everyone and demanded, "Is it you who did this to our gods, Abraham?" Abraham replied, "But this their chief did it. Ask them, if they are able to speak." The people exclaimed, "You know they do not speak. Do you worship what you yourselves have carved when Allah created you and what you make?" Abraham continued, "Do you worship instead of Allah that which cannot profit you at all, nor harm you?" Quran 37.956. Quran 21.66. Finally, Abraham warned them, "Serve Allah, and keep your duty unto him. That is better for you if you did but know. You serve instead of Allah only idols, and you only invent a lie. Lo, those whom you serve instead of Allah own no provision for you. So seek your provision from Allah, and serve him, and give thanks unto him, for unto him you will be brought back." Quran 29:16-17. The people of Ur decided to give Abraham the worst punishment they could find. He was to be burnt to death. On the chosen day, all the people gathered in the center of the city, and even the king of Ur was there. Abraham was then placed inside a special building filled with wood. The wood was lit. Soon the fire became so strong that the people were pushed back by the flames. But Allah said, "O fire, be coolness and peace for Abraham." Quran 21.69. The people waited until the fire had completely died down, and it was then that they saw Abraham still sitting there as though nothing had happened. At that moment they were utterly confused. They were not, however, moved by the miracle that had just happened before their very eyes. Still Abraham tried to persuade his own dear father, who was named Azar, not to worship powerless, unseeing, unhearing statues. Abraham explained that special knowledge had come to him and implored his father, "So follow me and I will lead you on the right path." My father, don't serve the devil." But Azar would not listen. He threatened his son with stoning if he continued to reject the gods of Ur. He ordered Abraham to leave the city with these words, "Depart from me a long while." Abraham said, "Peace be upon you. I shall ask my Lord's forgiveness for you. Surely he was ever gracious to me." Quran 19.437.